In horror movies, the settings are usually quite ordinary. And this is what scares people in the darkest part of their mind. Things that look ordinary and safe may not be.
Laci Peterson was last seen walking her dog about 10:30 on Christmas Eve morning. After that, she simply disappeared.
7/11/22.
We started an investigation on the 24th about 5:47 p.m.
That's when I heard about it. I didn't know nothing about it until I was having my Christmas Eve dinner when I got the call, and then I drove down.
The first person you focus at in a homicide investigation is the person closest to the victim and the last person to see the victim. And of course, boom, boom, we got both of those with Scott.
He claims that he woke up in the morning and he and Laci had breakfast together. They watched the Martha Stewart show on television. They were together. She ate cereal.
She got dressed. She curled her hair. She put her shoes on.
He thought maybe he was going to play golf, but because it was rainy and cold, he decided not to play golf, but to go fishing.
She leashed up her dog. She walked out her gate and she went on a walk.
Remember, this is December 24. Christmas is the next day. They're gonna all have a family dinner that night.
Scott finished fishing that day at some point in the afternoon and made a phone call to Laci.
Hey, beautiful. I won't be able to get to Villa Farms to get that basket for Papa. I was hoping you would get this message and go on out there. I'll see you in a bit, sweetie. Love you. Bye.
I mean, Scott's telling me when I interview him, I went fishing. I tried to call my wife 3 times. I called her cell phone, I called her house, and I'm driving home from Berkeley and she ain't answering, so I'm thinking something's up. Then I get home, her car is in the driveway.
So I entered through the back gate. Mackenzie came running up to me. He did have his leash on, which isn't that weird. I could tell that she wasn't at home because it was quiet in the house. But I just assumed that she had gone over to help her mom with the preparations.
He assumed that her mom had come to pick her up. They had plans for dinner that night with her mother, Sharon, and her stepdad, Ron. And so when Scott arrived home, he was not alarmed.
So what does he do? Well, he goes over to the washing machine, he takes all the clothes out, he takes all his clothes off and washes them. Then he gets some pizza out. He drinks some milk and eats some pizza.
I was actually in such a rush that I had the piece of pizza while I was in the shower. Once out of that, I went in the bedroom and got dressed in some nicer clothes. Back in the kitchen then, I noticed that there was a message.
It was a message from Laci's stepdad, Ron. Scott asked if Laci was there.
I learned Laci was missing when Scott called that evening and asked if she was at our house. And of course I said, no, she's not here. And immediately he came back with saying that she was missing. And I remember feeling that just a little agitated about that word, the word that he used, missing. It was like, how can you be missing? She's not missing. Then I asked if he'd called her friends, called me back again, and nobody had seen her.
That basically became the moment when Scott realized Laci wasn't where he thought she was.
As soon as I told Sharon that she planned on going for a walk, Sharon said, go to the park. I'm going to meet you there at the tennis courts.
I remember running around in the park and yelling her name, and there's nothing worse than lifting up a trash can looking for your child to see if her body is in a trash can. But I remember doing that. When it's happening to somebody else, you think, that's a horrible thing to happen to those people. And you think that you can imagine how they feel. You don't. You have no idea what it's like. I mean, from that minute on, your life is completely changed.
She didn't turn up at the park where she would have walked the dog. She was not in the neighborhood. Her body was nowhere. She was nowhere.
There was no evidence of a struggle. The exterior of the house was secure, no evidence of tampering or forced entry. We didn't find any fingerprints that were present in the house that didn't belong there. There was nothing that was missing from the house. TV was still there, all the normal things that burglars will take quickly so that they can get out of there.
So what scenario does that leave? An unknown assailant grabs her in a park where there are other people and spirits her away, typically that is not how an unknown assailant murder occurs. The murder goes down, the body's left on the scene, and bam, the killer's gone. Okay? So of course the police start looking at him.
Well, I suspected Scott when I first met him. Didn't mean he did it, but I was a little bit thrown off by his calm, cool demeanor.
On Christmas Eve, he was cooperative. In my mind, I'm not even thinking he did it yet. But I am documenting all this stuff. When we get to his shop to look at his boat, Scott tells me, I have no power in the shop, meaning there's no lights. This shop is in a strip mall, and it's the middle of the night. There ain't nobody there, it's just us. And so I'm not even thinking that's suspicious. I just, okay, there's no power. Do you mind opening the door? I'll put my headlights in, I wanna look at the boat. So I put my headlights in and I take 4 or 5 pictures, of the boat. And then later I called MID and I talked to the supervisor to find out when the power was out for that area. He said the power was never out for that area.
So he was questioned for over 7 hours the first night that Laci went missing. Continued to talk to police.
So you just, when you got in your boat and you took off, did you go very far? Or?
Well, I mean, a couple miles. Found a little island kind of deal there. I remember a big sign that said no landing.
To dump his wife's body in broad daylight. It just defies logic.
Whoever has her, please, please, please let her go. Bring her back.
We love her so much. We want her back. Please, let us have her back.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.